Meaning, like, is this real? Is the administration that got elected to purge the deep state actually using the deep state to...
What's going on, you guys? Today we have Kulinski slamming Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon is talking about Palantir and Peter Thiel, and Kulinski has some questions for him. Let's watch.
Generally not a fan of the Rogan sphere. You got a bunch of right-leaning comedians who are in over their heads and don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they try way too hard. And what you saw with a lot of these guys is they snuggled up to Trump, and they snuggled up to J.D. Vance, and they snuggle up to fucking Elon Musk and Peter Thiel, but they still pretend like they're like edgy outsiders. Sorry, we got a visitor here. We got Salem here, and that's Salem's ass. Okay. So, the fact that they pretend to be edgy outsiders at the same time that they are snuggling up to the most powerful billionaires and fascists in the country, I think that's what gets under my skin. But having said that, like, there are plenty of examples of people in the Rogan sphere who have their flashes where it's like, okay, I'm with you on that. Like, I see where you're coming from, right? And some of these people need to be fucking saved, bro. Like, they need to be saved. They're so close, but so far. One of those people is Tim Dillon. He's always been good on the issue of Gaza. And he's one of these guys who I think back in the day, he was sort of like a Alex Jones fan, but he was more of an Alex Jones fan when Alex Jones was more associated with the left than the right. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a time with his 9/11 conspiracies and with going after the Bush administration relentlessly that he was associated more with the left than the right, even though fundamentally he is a right-winger. He's a libertarian. But Tim Dillon gives, like, old-school Alex Jones vibes, right? So anyway, my question for you guys is this. Is Tim Dillon, is this him effectively breaking up with the Trump regime? Is that what this is? Or is it going to be like every other fucking time some Rogan sphere comedian criticizes Trump, is it like right back the next day to coddling his nutsack and telling him he's a special little boy? Because that's the problem, right? Is like, even Rogan himself, yeah, you know, I don't know, bro, maybe getting rid of due process is not the best idea, bro. But then the next day it's right back to, the woke lefties are stupid, bro, and Trump is based, bro. And so, like, I struggle to give these guys any credit, knowing that within a fucking week, they'll go right back to saying the same bullshit they've been saying all along. But here's Tim Dillon, and he's going after the Trump regime for the news that was reported on Palantir.
And I think that it's very important, you know, that some of these guys are starting to come to their senses. I think that it's extremely telling that you have people even like Tim Dillon who, you know, he makes constant jokes just about everything, but now he's starting to even call out certain things that really are unsaid in the right-wing space. I know that a lot of left-wing spaces, you know, progressive movements do not really hesitate to talk about Palantir, do not really hesitate to talk about Peter Thiel in general. But, you know, you watch any of these right-wing spaces and they are, you know, super afraid to talk about anything Peter Thiel related.
That they're creating a mass blackmail database on all Americans, and he's not a big fan of that idea. Let's watch.
And that's where you bring in Palantir. The New York Times article here, the Trump administration has tasked Palantir, Peter Thiel and Palantir, with building a database of Americans, their financial info. So Peter Thiel, Palantir is founded by these guys, Alex Karp, Joe Lonsdale, and Peter Thiel. I met Joe Lonsdale in Austin. I went to his house. Nice guy, very smart. I described him on the show. He no longer likes me. That's fine. This is a pattern for me, right? This seems to be a pattern. I don't think it's right. He had a great big swimming pool, and I love swimming, and I love a big pool. Most people don't have them. He had a huge pool. I think it was 80 feet. Doesn't matter. I'm being sued. He'll sue me for this.
Yeah.
I met him. He no longer, I think, is actively involved with Palantir. He's doing some other startup. Like, he wanted to build another city and to compete with Austin or something. You know, everyone's got a fun idea at these tech things when you go. Everyone's got a fun idea. Everyone wants to do something revolutionary.
Yeah, the tech guys are fucking horrific. The tech guys are fascists. When you look at a guy like Elon Musk, who they all look up to as this fucking savior, here's a guy who wants to put a chip in everybody's brain. He wants AI to take over. They look forward to when AI takes over, right? He wants to go to Mars and occupy it. All he does is launch ships that explode when he's not robbing taxpayers $38 billion from taxpayers, $8 million a day. The fucking tech broligarchs are the worst of the worst. They're these weird, like, transhumanist, futurist type people, And it's fundamentally anti-human.
In March, President Trump signed an executive order calling for the federal government to share data across agencies, raising questions over whether he might compile a master list of personal information. Mr. Trump has not publicly talked about the effort since, but behind the scenes, officials have quietly put technological building blocks into place to enable his plan. In particular, they have turned to one company, Palantir, the data analysis and technology firm. This is where you have to start questioning if the Trump administration is like some type of op, meaning like, is this real? Is the administration that got elected to purge the deep state actually using the deep state to compile a list of data on all the people that live here? This shadowy company Palantir that works with the CIA and the military, they do all this fun stuff. They export all their technology all over the world to place, fun like Israel right now. I don't know what they're doing. I guess setting up breakfast stations for the Palestinians. Perhaps not.
They have this YouTube channel that I like. It's called More Perfect Union. And yeah, I mean, they talk so much about, they have a video on Peter Thiel saying basically that, look, my politics are not going to be accepted by anybody on a normal scale. But like, why do we have to, make them understand? Why do that takes so much time to have to explain to people and have them get it? So now we're going to use technology to sort of take over this whole space and to, program people into what to think, sort of build this entire storyline to have people just not have any choice but to go along with it. And if that doesn't sound like an evil plan to you guys, then it sounds directly out of like a Mission Impossible movie or some shit like that.
But this shadowy company is compiling a list of data of American people.
By the way, they brag about killing their enemies. What's his name? Alex Karp, I believe his name is. Was bragging about, we go after our enemies, we kill our enemies. We're all about Western civilization. Israel is using their technology, they're using AI to massacre Palestinians so that they can all throw their hands up and say, hey, it wasn't me. I didn't pull the trigger. It was the AI that made the decision. I just watched it happen. You can't assign blame to me. I'm just a simple IDF soldier. But this is the sort of stuff that company does. This is what they do. And Trump wants them to create a mass blackmail database on all Americans. Data points, 300 plus data points on everything about everybody. Why would you want the government knowing all that? I mean, this is like the Patriot Act on fucking steroids.
The Department of Homeland Security and the Pentagon, when Mr. Trump took office, according to public records, including additional funds from existing contracts, as well as new contracts with the Department of Homeland Security and the Pentagon. So Palantir has received $113 million in federal government spending since Trump took office. This does not include a $795 million contract the Department of Defense awarded the company last week, which has not been spent. Representatives of Palantir are also speaking to two other agencies, the Social Security Administration and the Internal Revenue Service, about buying its technology. The push has put a key Palantir product called Foundry into at least 4 federal agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security and Health and Human Services. Pay attention. Health, taxes, financial information. Right? Widely adopting Foundry. What a lovely... By the way, it's funny that this shadowy military CIA contractor is using a company called Foundry, a company that, like, you'd think that you were, like, getting artisanal baked goods from, except it's compiling all the data on you and everyone you know. So
And the scary part is, I'm in a conservative part right now while I'm on vacation and I'm just having conversations with people. They don't care. The conservative people do not care about what's going on. They have to stick their head so far in the sand to make sure, that they don't get their egos bruised, or it's like, hey, look, like maybe we were wrong about this. But, they're going to completely deny any of this stuff. They're going to say, who cares anyway? We're going to, it's at the very end of the day, the United States is never going to fall. We're just going to do what we're supposed to be doing. And it doesn't affect me. And it's like, okay, well, to me, that's scary. To me, that's a little bit scary that people are not giving two shits about it. And that's half of the country. I'm in the South right now, and they have these states like Louisiana, like Arkansas, like Texas, like Florida, that do not give a shit about all of these different things that they're encroaching on, that I guarantee you, if it was a Democrat who was doing this, they would be saying, oh man, you know, I got to get this bunker right. I gotta leave the area. It's an actual brainwash going on.
Foundry, widely adopted Foundry, which analyzes and organizes data, paves the way for Mr. Trump to easily merge information from different agencies. Creating detailed portraits of Americans based on government data is not just a pipe dream. This has got to be stopped dead in its tracks. And to the credit of some of the real hardcore MAGA people, they're actually pushing back on this.
Some of them are, but Tim, 2 days later, they go right back to sucking him off. Because that's what they do. That's what they do. Everybody knows the vibe in the country has shifted, and the vibe in the country is deeply anti-Trump now because he keeps doing horrible things. And so to try to maintain relevance, it's every now and then you got, I don't know about, even fucking Laura Loomer does it. So I don't know about taking a $400 million Qatari plane, sir. That's not a great idea. But anyway, you're still the best president anybody's ever had. You should be president for life. This is what they do. Little tepid criticism, go right back to riding that dick. That's what.
And I think Kyle said it best, you know, but I mean, at the very end of the day, yeah, I mean, I don't know if Tim Dillon is, you know, just sort of stuck in wherever he's at, you know, where I believe he's in Austin, Texas, so he may even still be a little bit brainwashed himself. Might just be a blind spot, you know, I mean, we all have blind spots at the very end of the day, right? But I mean, being in these areas, going around the country and seeing these different areas, people do not give two shits. People don't care. They're too much stuck in this way of thinking, stuck in this, oh, we just got to make it. Oh, we're going to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. Oh, we just got to do it. And they do not care about what's going on. They don't see that this is a losing game. Go ahead and make as much money as you want. Go ahead and, like, you know, find your way, quote unquote, out of it. Just like make it through this hard time. Like, this was supposed to be y'all's like victory lap. This was supposed to be shit that was like very, very good. And now we're about to head into a war. You know, where the groceries are still fucking bad. The eggs just got another disease. You know, it's like, this shit is not looking good. So how much longer can you just grin and bear it until it's like, you cannot deny it, until it's undeniable, until we're in the grocery stores weighing bales of money to get a loaf of bread. But look, I mean, I'm right here. I'm just looking at it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. It's another day in the progressive way.